Hello, my friends. Jacob Israel is here, and thank you for joining me. That was darn nice of you to come on over here and press play and spend a little time with me. Come on down and talk about the crazy things that are heading our way and happening in the near future, and there's nothing we can do to stop it. Unless, of course, we know what's coming ahead of time and we course correct. That's right. We have more power than you know. Okay, so let's get right into it, right? What does this show it's bonkers. It's not gonna make a lot of sense, okay? It's gonna make sense if you watch till the end, but if you just kind of come on in here and you're like,
oh, he's talking too much, he's rambling too much, and I can't handle it, he's too loud, he talks too loud, he screams, I'm watching the show, it scares me, I get scared when he's so loud and crazy, just get to the point.
I know that a lot of people say that I do that, and I'm sorry, I think I just did it again. But if you stick around to the end, you will see that Celine Dion, Google, Cern, quantum computers, super AI, and more is all somehow linked to Planet X, to Nibiru, to, that's right. Somehow, in the last 36 hours or so, I have been downloaded all this interesting information that has to do with a cross. You may have heard of it. It's known by many names: the Templar Cross, the Maltese Cross, the Crusaders Cross, the Cross. Somehow, this cross is smack dab in the middle of it all. And I don't know. It's Tuesday, baby, so I hope you're buckled up. All right, so this all started with my buddy Jason Christopher over at Jake Chris. You got to check out his channel. I'm going to link it below. He sends me this kooky video. Celine Dion, it's a genderless clothing line, which of course I watch and I'm shocked because first of all, it's horrible and it's creepy and it's weird. And I, of course, wrote, you better do a show on this, and he did, and it was awesome. And also KJ from Scariest Movie Ever did a show on this really weird clothing line that Celine Dion has come out, where she, basically breaks into a nursery and magically changes the genders of these children with some black, metallic, spooky nanotech, I guess. I don't know. But then changing it to like this genderless, black, scary, look like they had little demon, little teddy bears in the cribs next to these kids. Freaky. When these kids have these shirts that say New Order, you go to the website and it's just like the kids look like they're strung out. I mean, it's horrible. Horrible. And like the clothing line is so incredibly overpriced. I know I'm going on a little bit of tangent all this, but why I'm even bringing this up is that there was that cross on the bag. That cross. Yeah, that's the cross. What I'm talking about. That's the Greek cross, or the Jerusalem cross, or the Crusader cross, or the Maltese cross, which comes many, many thousands of years before the cross of Christ, which we now know of. This cross began a weird little trip down artificial intelligence, quantum computing lane that I never thought I would. I never thought I'd be here talking to you about all this stuff. But it's weird. It's weird, especially with all that's going on. Okay, so today's shows, it has a lot to do with the partnership between Google and Cern. Okay, Yeah, that's been in the news. How did I know about this? I don't know. I get an email. Rachel Burke sends me something about, thought this would interest you. And I click on it, and it's about how Google and Cern have made a partnership, right, for quantum artificial intelligence and quantum computing, right? It's not enough that Cern is doing what they're doing. If you don't know what Cern is, okay, it's a collider. It's where they take atoms deep beneath the ground and they speed them up to like light speed, and they crash into each other. And they say that they're opening up different dimensions, they're creating mini black holes, they're creating and storing antimatter, which is incredibly dangerous. But really what they're trying to do is they're trying to find out, they're trying to find the origin of everything. And you know that I like talking about Cern, right? I've done a ton of shows on that. The fact that, they're located on a temple for Apollyon, Apollyon the destroyer, the key to the bottomless pit. It's just all this crazy symbolism, right? Cern, where they did their little video, which, by the way, my Mandela effect video, isn't it interesting? The thing has like over 1 million views, right? And out of the blue now, all of a sudden, who hits me with a copyright strike? Cern. Isn't that weird? I mean, that's strange, don't you think? It's strange, but that's besides the point. Or is it? Because the Mandela effect fits right nicely in all of this madness as well, which you're gonna see. So I get this information sent to me. Thank you, Rachel, for sending it over. And I start looking into this. And as I'm looking into this, I don't connect that just earlier, because I get a lot of stuff. You are all so cool, and especially at Patreon, you all send me very cool ideas. And when I get these things, many times I've kind of stumbled on it myself, but in the rare moments where I didn't know anything about Celine Dion's video, I didn't know anything about her genderless, disgusting, boring Illuminati pyramids and yucky stuff. It's really bad stuff. I didn't know anything about Google and Cern partner, because I was just coming off of the dark matter thing, and I got a life on top of everything else. But I know that there's some kind of a weird connection here. And why do I know this? Because I immediately start saying, okay, well, if Google and the European Organization for Nuclear Research are coming together, because of course the storage capacity is going to be they need a powerhouse behind them. And of course Google, whose top guys have already started artificial intelligence churches where people can start to worship AI. The way of the future, where he's the dean, right? Yeah. So you got this weird stuff. You got Google, right? Who's like, already in charge of everything. Already had one of these D-Wave computers, one of these quantum computers. You remember the D-Wave computer, right? It's the computer. We heard the top guy over at D-Wave, Geordie Rose, he did that talk, right? I covered this on Mandela videos, which he then, of course, gave a shout out and kind of made a joke about how there were people that were saying that the fact that these quantum computers operate in parallel multiverses or parallel reality or other dimensions, and somehow you can loop into this, what Einstein calls spooky action at a distance. Quantum computing is very weird. It's spooky. They don't even really know how these machines work. But they do know that they're super fast, like that if the entire world was, like all the silicon everywhere was put together to make the best processor ever, that it would take something like 1,000 years to what that computer could do in like this. And of course, they're already in operation. They're already working. You know, we know that the first bunch went to Google, went to Lockheed Martin, of course, D-Wave. Well, then Geordie Rose, after he does his little talk about how he can access that, other dimensions and everything else, and then he makes light of it, and he makes a joke over at the Vancouver Tech, which we heard from last year, where he was talking about the aliens that were coming. Where he was talking about how superintelligence within the next 13 years, there's a 25% chance that they're going to take over. 25% chance in like 13 years. So he says all this and he paints this picture of how spooky and terrifying, this AI is. He actually compares them to these creatures, these aliens that are going to come in maybe the next 20 years or so. He compares them to these H.P. Lovecraftian demons, the old gods. And he says, this is what's heading our way. This is what's coming. And he's saying that nobody's paying attention. This guy to make the jokes like Elon Musk talks about how it's like unleashing the demon. You think you're going to control it. And everybody in this field and all the heads of this science say that there's no way they're going to even care about us. There's no way we're going to be able to control this. And yet we're all catapulting down that road. As I'm going down the quantum computer, the rabbit hole, and I'm revisiting all of the things that I've talked about years and years ago. And, and you listen to, how they talk about this technology, and then you marry it with the idea that, wow, now you have Cern and Google partnering. It's like you think things are crazy now. Wait till you see what happens in the next couple of years when this partnership with CERN Open Labs, wait till you see what happens when this comes to fruition, right? Now, as I'm studying more of that, we're going to bounce back to Celine Dion. Remember that cross? Well, wouldn't you know that Intel just released, there's a great YouTube video. Where Intel's releasing their 49-bit qubit processor for quantum computers. And it talks about how powerful it's going to be and everything else.
Now, we've been working with the leading Q-Tech labs at Delft University in the Netherlands to test and build full quantum computing systems. And you've probably heard us talk about our 7 and 17 qubit systems. Well, today, I'm proud to show you the next step. I'm proud to introduce to you our 49-qubit quantum chip.
Now, I want to stop you right there because I want you to take a close look at what that chip looks like. And think of Celine's bag. Now, this is kind of weird, okay? This is kind of weird. It's very weird, okay? You've had, I don't know if anybody watched Joe Rogan, his podcast. I think it's pretty good, right? And a lot of people are going to say, oh, he's a sellout or he's this or it doesn't matter. He has some interesting guests on, and he's had a lot of AI guys on. And one of the guys that he had on recently, I forgot the guy's name, he was talking about the gods are returning. And he's not the only one. Elon Musk on his podcast, when of course he famously got stoned, it was very, very scary when he was talking about how I warned them, I told them, but now there's nothing can be done. So you have all these people talking about how spooky artificial intelligence is, and the fact that these quantum computers that we don't even understand how they work. So now we're gonna take the quantum computers and we're gonna marry it with CERN, right, and all that spooky stuff. Remember CERN? The scientists that did a whole fake human sacrifice. But that's normal, right? They're blowing off steam. which is also connected to, remember the Gothard Tunnel where they had that crazy thing where Baphomet was going around Pan and the Antichrist is born and time started spinning backwards and you had that strange, I don't know if you even heard of the Gothard Tunnel, but world leaders like Angela Merkel was there, Hollandaise from France was there. You got all of these world leaders giving a standing ovation to the most perverse, the most strange, the most bizarre. You had to take a shower after you watched this. There's something that the elites, those that are in control, there's something going on. And these symbols that we see time and time again, there's a reason why that cross was on Celine's bag. That same cross that was the Crusaders' cross, that same Maltese cross, that same Jerusalem cross, that same Greek cross, that cross has been passed down from time to time to time. And now we see that cross on all of Celine Dion's genderless clothing, the New Order. And then you listen to the things that she said about our children are not our children, right? And it almost, and it's like if this is all linked and connected to Planet X, I mean, how weird would that be? Isn't it interesting that the Sumerian tablets display that same cross long before we knew it as what we know it today? See, that's a strange coincidence, right? That in about 36 hours or so, I get from Celine Dion to Planet X, to Nibiru, to the Anunnaki. How do I get from there to there? I don't know. But it's all connected. It's all connected. Why would that cross be smack dab in the middle of, why would it be there in that 49 qubit processor for quantum computers? Why would they call the D-Wave computers like going and bowing at an alien temple or an alien god, worshiping an alien god? Why would all of these things, why would he bring up these H.P. Lovecraftian, where there is so much mysticism and spooky, just weird, crazy, goofy, just gross Dungeons and Dragons stuff going on? I don't want to put anybody down. Dungeons and Dragons is a cool game. Okay, I'm not putting, you get what I'm saying though. It's weird. It's weird. And it's all connected. And that's why, it was just like, that's why when I'm looking at this and I'm even showing Danielle and I'm saying, Danielle, isn't this weird? And she's like, well, maybe the AI, she says, the AI has no gender. No, but there's something. There's a connection to all of this. If you don't think that bag, right? That's where the dust came from. All of this stuff, it's bringing us somewhere. It's leading us somewhere. And we're not being told the whole story, but it certainly is interesting to start to piece the things together. Now, in the grand scheme of things, what does this mean? Do you think that Celine Dion's bag is actually, connected to that Intel processor and Geordie Rose over there at Kindred, who are trying to bring, the demise of humanity upon us because they think it's a great idea? Hey, you want to be in on the ground floor, right, of the alien invasion? The aliens are the ones we create, which are also going to be the gods that don't care about us, that see us as ants, not even ants, insignificant. How will I continue to do my YouTube channel if there's nobody to watch, if there's nobody to hit subscribe and to share and to like? I love each and every one of you. I don't even know if this show made any sense. It certainly was fun, right? But, any way you look at it, you put Cern, you put Google together, you marry it with Intel's most powerful chip, you put them all together, what do you get? You get a weird 2019. That's what I'm telling you. Thanks very much for stopping by. Do me a favor, share the channel around, tell your friends. Hell, sub if you haven't subbed already, please. Help get the word out there. I don't know what the word is, but the word today, the mark of Cain. That's the word of the day, mark of Cain. Because that's really what that cross was. Isn't that interesting? It's the mark of Cain. You trace it back, that cross, they called it the mark of Cain. That's where it came from. And everybody somehow has turned it into Christ, which is weird, right? Because the mark of Cain, Cain rebelled against God. Cain was cursed. Cain slew his brother Abel. It was like the carnal man, Cain, the firstborn, killing Abel, the shepherd. The killer and the shepherd, the firstborn and the secondborn. Cain was given a mark because Cain, of course, knew that since he was cast out, because of his terrible sin, and he said, well, everyone's going to kill me. Everybody's going to kill me out there because they know what I did. And he says, nope, I'm going to give you a mark, and no one's going to be able to touch you. That's where that cross came from. It's interesting because it does sound also a lot like the Sumerian origin story. I love y'all, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.